Have you ever lost money on a trade? Not because the strategy was wrong, but because the platform itself let you down? That's why I'm here today. Today, I'm ranking every major crypto exchange that I've used myself so you have a better understanding of what exchange to use and avoid unnecessary mistakes. I still remember my first crypto trade. A YouTube video pointed me at some exchange and I just signed up without reading anything. I hit buy and immediately started losing money in ways that I didn't fully understand. The fees that I hadn't expected, a price that was somehow worse than what I've seen on the screen. So I just sat there staring at my screen feeling stupid. That experience taught me two things. First, to not let emotions take over your trading. And second, the platform that you choose matters a lot more than most people talk about. Over the years, I got locked out of funds for a week because of a verification issue. I waited 3 days for customer support while my money sat frozen. I watched my futures position getting liquidated and there was nothing I could do because the app was down. Those experiences are why I take platform selection seriously now, and that's why I'm here today. Here are the 5 things that I actually care about when picking an exchange. First is the fees, because they quietly drain your account every single trade if you're not paying attention. Then liquidity, because nothing is more frustrating than placing an order and watching the price move against you just because nobody else is in the market. Next is the user experience, because life is too short to fight a confusing interface during a volatile market. Then we have security, because exchanges have collapsed before and taken everyone's money with them. And finally, what extra features do the platforms offer, like staking, airdrop, tokenized assets, and etc. This last one has become more important than most people realize. First one is Binance. Of course, the place where everyone ends up eventually. Now, there are international Binance and US Binance Exchange, but I will only review international exchanges for everyone to use. Now, I started using Binance back in 2021 during a bull run when every single person that I knew pointed to Binance. My first reaction to the interface was pure chaos, right? Charts stacked on charts, menus inside menus, numbers everywhere. I closed the app twice before I actually committed to learning anything. But once that I did, it actually makes a lot of sense because everything is where it should be. The orders go through very fast, and when the market is moving and you need to act quickly, Binance handles it. The liquidity alone is a reason for me to stay because I once tried buying coins on a smaller exchanges like a meme coin and waited for an hour for the order to fill because nobody else was buying it. On Binance, the same thing happens, but it takes seconds. Now, the fees on Binance are a bit high. We have about 0.02% for maker fee and about 0.05% for taker for futures fee, right? And about 0.1% for spot. Not the cheapest on this list, but it's fair because Binance is being the biggest exchange in all. If you hold their native token BNB and use it to pay fees, then you get a discount. And the more you trade, the better your rate gets over time. What I generally love about Binance right now is their airdrop program called the Binance Alpha. The idea is very simple. You just have to stay active on the platform, trade multiple times during the day to accumulate points, and those points just unlock early access to new token airdrops before they go public. In 2025, I made over $3,000 in just a couple of months doing this thing, so it's definitely very worth it. So check out my video guiding you how to use Binance Alpha right up here, okay? On top of these, Binance is also spearheading recently with the tokenization of real-world asset. Through a partnership with Ondo Finance, Binance offers a variety of tokenized stocks like Apple stock, for example, or commodities like gold or silver, so you can trade TradFi assets on the app with ease. And yeah, it's regulated. But one problem is that liquidity on these pairs are very small compared to the actual traditional markets. So volatility is a huge issue if you're using high leverage. So it's still early, but it's worth watching. Now, the one thing that generally frustrates me about Binance is the mobile app itself, right? It's lacking at peak moments. For example, in the last October 10th event, Crypto Black Swan event, all crypto tokens suffer a sudden sell-off. I had a few futures positions open during that time, but I cannot access the app. It was just loading every time to close my position, so they all got liquidated. But it seems like this happens with most exchanges, so I guess I cannot really blame Binance for it. Overall, I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because it's the biggest, it has the most features, loads of rewards from the Binance Alphas and Binance Launchpad and whatnot. It has high security, but also the fees are a little bit high. Next one is Coinbase, but not the US exchange. This international Coinbase is a completely different platform built for serious traders and honestly a lot more capable than the US brothers. Signing in takes more effort than most exchanges. There's an eligibility check, compliance review, the whole thing. I mean, KYC and whatnot. It feels like applying for something super official, even though it's regulated out of Bermuda. But once you're through, what you get is a proper trading platform backed by the most credible institution name in this space. Now, the fees on perpetuals are actually cheaper than Binance, about 0.02% for makers and 0.04% for taker for futures, which is a 20% off compared to Binance. Now, for spot, it's 0% for maker and 0.02% for taker. It's crazy cheap. And the product lineup has gotten genuinely interesting. They launched stock perpetual futures covering the Magnificent Seven stocks, right? Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, the big names, plus S&P 500 and Nasdaq ETFs, all tradable around the clock, all settled in USDC. In terms of security, Coinbase publishes audited financials and hosts customer asset one-to-one. Though in 2025, they did have an insider data breach. There were no funds lost, customers were reimbursed, but it's worth knowing. On the airdrops reward side, there is no formal program here. The long game is their base network layer 2, where a potential future token could reward early users of Coinbase, maybe the way that Arbitrum or maybe Optimism did. It's speculative, but that's just crypto. Overall, I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because it's easy to use, it has cheap fees, very cheap, high security, but less liquidity and no major airdrop or rewards program compared to Binance. The third one on this list is Hyperliquid. Now, this is one that surprises people the most when I bring it up because Hyperliquid isn't even a centralized exchange. There is no company holding your funds, no sign up, no ID verification. You just connect your crypto wallet, bridge some stablecoins over, and you're trading in minutes. The first time that I opened Hyperliquid, I was like, is that it? Because the interface is surprisingly clean and it's easy to use. The performance is wild for something fully on-chain like this. The trades execute in under a second. The order books are deep for major pairs and nothing about using it feels like the clunky decentralized experience that you might be used to from other DeFi platforms. The fees are also one of the lowest of any platforms on this list. The base perpetuals fees are like 0.015% for maker and about 0.045% for taker. You can also stake their hype token and it gets cheaper. For newer markets, they also run a program that drops fee by over 90% to encourage early trading activity. Nothing else on this list comes close, well, except for the next exchange that I'm about to tell you, so stick to the very end. Liquidity during peak periods has hit levels that rival major centralized exchanges on the derivative side. The cumulative trading volume crossed nearly $3 trillion in 2025. It's insane for a new kid on the block. Now, on the tokenized asset side, they have Hyperliquid's HIP-3 protocol that lets anybody deploy a perpetual market for essentially any asset. Now, this has already enabled synthetic perpetuals for individual US stocks, for example, and commodities like gold are tradable on-chain around the clock, just like the centralized experience. There is no broker, no paperwork, just full transparency and on-chain. In terms of airdrops, well, back in November 2024, Hyperliquid distributed about 31% of their total token supply to the people who had been actively trading on the platform. It was unfortunate because I didn't get any. I didn't know about Hyperliquid back then. But now they still have 40% of the total supply left sitting in the community rewards wallet for future distributions. Season 2 hasn't been announced, but if you're paying attention and using Hyperliquid constantly right now, then it is the right decision to make because soon they will announce it. The real downside on Hyperliquid is that it's decentralized, okay? It's also its strength, but also its weakness. If something goes wrong on your end, well, you're on your own because it's decentralized, it's on-chain, nobody can get your funds back to you. Now, you can go to Discord and raise your questions, and if they can fix it, they can fix it, but most likely if you do anything wrong, then yeah, they cannot help you with that. Overall, I'll give Hyperliquid an 8 out of 10 because it's highly liquid, it has cheap fees, big airdrop opportunities, no KYC, but the security, because it's decentralized, it's debatable. Then we have OKX. Now, OKX was the first platform that I started using seriously alongside Binance, and it's the one that I've stuck with the longest as a second exchange because I have a feeling that OKX is trying to copy Binance in some of the features, like Binance Square, and then we have OKX Orbit, we have Binance Alpha, and then we have OKX Web3 Boost, right? With that said, it has a clean layout, smooth app, and the fees are slightly better than Binance at the base level for spot market. For futures market, it's the exact same. The liquidity on OKX is solid for mainstream coins, not quite Binance level, but you won't run into slippage issues or anything like that. The range of coins is also good without being overwhelming. On the airdrop side, OKX has a lot of similarities to Binance, like I mentioned, from their OKX Boost program to get the points, OKX Launchpad, the airdrop earn. Now, I can't say who copies who, but as long as users get rewarded, I'm okay. On the tokenized asset side, OKX is moving in this direction, but hasn't launched a full product yet the way that Binance has, so it's something to watch in 2026, maybe. The one thing that I always mention when recommending OKX is that the platform had a significant legal issue a couple of years ago, a guilty plea around like anti-money laundering violations and a substantial fine, but the same with Binance and even Coinbase. Now they've restructured and relaunched properly, but it's the kind of thing that you should know before trusting a platform with like a lot of money. On the score side, I'll give OKX a 7 out of 10. It feels like a little worse version compared to Binance. And the last one on this list is MEXC. Now, this is the exchange that I pull up whenever I want to trade something that nobody else has listed yet. Now, new tokens appear here days or even weeks before Binance or OKX or anyone else catches up. If you want to trade early altcoins or meme coins, then this is where you find it first. The fees are also the lowest of any centralized exchanges on this list, like 0% maker fees on spot, a tiny taker fee, and on futures it's even cheaper. You can hold their native MX token and you cut that down by another 50%. They also run zero fee campaigns on hundreds of pairs at a time, so no other exchange here even comes close. The coin selection is also the widest so far, over 3,000 spot pairs. Now, if it exists in crypto, MEXC probably has it. That's a genuine edge if you like getting into projects before they go mainstream. On the airdrop side, MEXC runs Kickstarter, where MX holders, their token, vote on new listings and receive token allocations, plus airdrop, which rewards users for trading newly listed tokens, and Launchpool as well, which runs constantly, not as polished as Binance Alpha individually, but the frequency is hard to match. Now, on the tokenized stock side, MEXC doesn't have this yet, which is a gap compared to others on this list. About the security though, MEXC has a reputation of being the worst in security, and it has been going on for years. Unexpected funds freeze, for example, banned withdrawals with no proper reasoning, the list goes on. Personally, I haven't had any issues with MEXC, I don't know why, but my account was never locked, my funds were never frozen, my withdrawals are always through. So I guess just don't trade too much money on MEXC and you'll be fine. Overall, 6 out of 10. It has crazy cheap fees, loads of tokens, fast listing, but security to me is an important issue, so if it's the worst, then it will not get a high score. And that's it. That's my review of the 5 exchanges that I am currently using and have used in the past, so you know what to look for. At the end of the day, just stick with the biggest exchanges if you're into security, and chose cheap fee exchanges if you're trading frequently. My recommendation is Binance through and through. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to use all of my referral codes for all of the exchanges above to get an additional 20% off of your trading fees for life. Comment down below what's your favorite exchange, and like and subscribe to CryptoNinjas, and I'll see you in the next one. Daily out.